Good evening. Good evening. Thank you to everybody who is watching live already. Taking your attention away from Love Island, obviously. So thank you very much to everybody. Good evening to the first person in the chat room, and that is John Snow. Ilias, good evening to you as well, and to everybody else joining in as well. So thank you very much. But yes, I've seen a few reports going around this evening that we are still linked to Malcom, who is currently at Barcelona, and I always thought that was a bit of a strange signing. I think he went to Barcelona way too soon. He was 21 when he went there. Massive move for him. It was quite a cheap deal in terms of obviously the guy's age. Like I said, he was 21 when he went there. He hardly had any years left on his contract, which is why it was so cheap. But he went for £37 million to Barcelona, and he's had the worst year he's probably ever had. He's not fitted into the team properly. He's played 24 games in all competitions and scored 4 goals, a couple of assists. So a goal and assist ratio of 1 in 6, which ain't exactly great when you look at his time before Barcelona. He was absolutely smacking goals and assists for fun. So he's going to be leaving Barcelona. They obviously need to free up some money. They want to go out and sign some replacements for players. And he is definitely someone they want to get rid of. It hasn't worked out for him. And sometimes these things happen. You know, you get the dream move to the massive football club, the massive institution, and you get the big pay deal. Excuse me. You get the joy of being able to play with Lionel Messi on the pitch every single week, and Suarez and all these other superstars that are at Barcelona, but it just hasn't quite worked out for him. Now, Tottenham are also linked to him, and it's not the first time we've both been linked to him. We've been linked to him all summer, on and off. We were linked to him in January as well, both of us. And just looking at the names I wrote down here that Tottenham have got that play in the same position or on the wing. Heung-min Son, Lucas Moura, Eric Lamela. That's 3 players that they've got that are wingers, inside forwards, whatever you want to call them. Now, Malcolm's the same. Do Spurs really need another one? I'm not so sure they do. I then went to write a list of names down of players we've got that play in them positions, and we ain't got any. So yeah, I think we need him a hell of a lot more than Tottenham do. I think the fact that they're pretty close to signing Ndombele, although that's gone a bit quiet over the last few days. Last reports I heard on that was that he was apparently walking around the training ground and he was having a medical, yet nothing else has been said. And that was nearly, 5 days ago. So I think that possibly is done. And listen, if that is done, that's a mad signing for them. Let's not get it twisted. He is a top player. So obviously they're trying to strengthen up that midfield. They're going to get rid of a few as well, you'd imagine. And I'm hoping and praying that Arsenal get their arse into gear very soon. What with the pre-season tour kicking in soon. We've got our first game next week or the week after against Boreham Wood. And then we fly out to the US soon. So a couple of weeks or less than a couple of weeks till we fly out to there. So I'm hoping that we've got a couple of players in, and I would be over the moon if we signed Malcom. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's gone out there and kind of took a back step in his career. Excuse me again. And I think that he would walk straight into our first team next season. I think that he would come in and he would automatically make us a better unit on in terms of attacking wise. Defensively, we need to make massive changes. And I think that, no, listen, if you look at his goals ratio and his assist ratio before he went to Barcelona, every single Arsenal fan would have took him in an instant. Fast forward a year till now, it's rather difficult to say one way or the other whether he'd hit the ground running at Arsenal. But I'd go with the fact that he would, and the fact that we'd get him for about £30 million is relatively cheap. Malcom is a better option than Zaha, cheaper and has experience in Europe. Thanks for that, Sergio. I appreciate your donation as well, my friend. And you're right. Listen, Zaha is massively overrated. He's massively overpriced. Why would we go and do anywhere near what they want for him? I don't think we're going to. Sam, good evening to you, mate. Let's go and get him now. Exactly. Go and get him. Go and get Ryan Fraser. Get Kieran Tierney done, go and buy a centre-back, and I think that would be a good bit of business that we've done there. We obviously need to ship some players out, but then you could line up with Malcom and Fraser on either wing. You could play Iwobi as a number 10 if you wanted to, because let's be real, his output's better than the apparently the best number 10 ever to have graced football, who I don't want anywhere near any starting 11 at all next season. I think he was an absolute disgrace last season, and he shouldn't be here. Everybody knows my thoughts on that, so I'm just going to move straight on. Yes, he is Brazilian, and I don't want you could play Iwobi as a number 10. You could play a 4-2-3-1. You could have Lacazette up front or Aubameyang, whichever one you want to go with. You could then play Iwobi just behind, and then you could play with Malcom on one side, Fraser on the other, or you could play with Aubameyang up top and play with Lacazette as like a false 9. If you want to go with a 4-3-3, you've got options there as well. You could have Aubameyang on the right. You could have him on the left. You could have Malcom. You could do whatever you wanted. You then got 2-3 options then. Maybe even more. Well, you've got 4 options if you play Iwobi on that side as well. So I think it'd be good. I think we do need a couple of wingers. I think we definitely need a centre-back. And if we go into this season again with Mustafi, Koscielny, Nacho Monreal filling in, Rob Holding, and who else we got a centre-back? That's it, isn't it? I think that's about it. So if we go into a season again with that group of centre-backs, we're in for a massive, massive failure of a season. So we need to go out and sign somebody in that position. I think we need a left-back, as I've said many, many, many times on here. And I think Kieran Tierney will be that centre-back. Socrates, how could I miss Socrates? Jesus Christ. Right, so let's count them up, right? Socrates, Koscielny, Rob Holding, Mustafi, there's 4 centre-backs, and then you've got Nacho Monreal who can fill in, right? So let's take Monreal out of the equation, there's 4. If we go into the start of the season with them 4 centre-backs, we're in big, big trouble going forward into the season. So we need to get rid of one of them at least, because we need at least 1 centre-back. Now, out of them 4, who would you rather see go the most? I think I know everyone's going to say Mustafi. To me, I'd rather get rid of Koscielny over Mustafi. And I know that sounds pretty stupid, but let me just back it with a bit of logic. Right? Koscielny is a lot older. He's, 33, 34 now. He's got a problem with his Achilles. He can only spring off of one leg properly. I think that, the fact that he can't really play a whole season, I know he done very, very well when he did play. And as Gary the Gooner says, his legs have gone. Completely agree. He is what he is now, and that is an aging footballer. And listen, whether you think he's been good or not at Arsenal is open to interpretation. Whether you think he's a club legend or not, well, that's just stupid. But he does need to go, in my opinion. So yeah, I would get rid of him over Mustafi. I'd keep Mustafi if that was the choice. So listen, we need to go and sign a centre back, and if it's only going to be William Saliba, that panics me and that worries me. That means that we're not going to get rid of any of them 4, and we're going to go again. Now, in terms of midfield, we've got Torreira, El Neni, both, Jesus Christ, how's he still at this football club? El Neni needs to go. We've got Granit Xhaka I'd get rid of, although I don't think he is going to go this transfer window. We've got Smith Rowe that can come in. We've got Lucas Torreira in there. We've got Alex Iwobi who can play in the centre. So Maitland-Niles. So we've got a lot of midfielders that, at the club right now. And, we need to get rid of a couple of them as well. Maybe Smith Rowe's not going to get a look in. Maybe he's going to go out on loan again. El Neni, if he's still at this football club next season, there's a steward's inquiry on that one. That guy has got to go. Granit Xhaka for me has got to go. Mesut Ozil's got to go. So Mkhitaryan's another one. At the end of the day, there's a lot of players at this club that shouldn't be it. And I think that, to go on and replace them, you've got to be shopping and saying, look, how many players are we going to have in the squad? It's going to be, 25 players in the squad, including homegrown players, which I think you need to have 8 next season. So when we're going and signing these players, we need to try and find and balance everything, getting rid of players, getting players in, and getting the homegrown quota up as well, and making sure that is where it should be. Because Reece Nelson doesn't qualify as homegrown. I don't think he's old enough to qualify. I think it's over the age of 21. So any player we've got in that squad that's under the age of 19, whether they've been there since the age of 4 or not, is not qualified to be a homegrown player. So I'm not too sure. And then you look at the strike force that we've got. It's Lacazette and Aubameyang. Would you change that? Probably not. But I'd definitely add quality wingers in behind that. And you just need a couple of solid midfielders sitting in, holding everything together. And you've got the base of a good team. You've then got a decent base on the bench. You can have some of these players that I've said that I don't really want it. You can integrate them as substitutes and stuff like that. But for me, Malcom's a no-brainer. That guy has got to come in. So that for me has got to be done. If Koscielny was a horse, he would have been put down, said Claude once upon a time. He did say that, Sergio. Thanks again, my friend. He did say that. And listen, say what you want about Koscielny. He's been a good player amongst some absolute garbage players in our defence over the years. But just coming back onto Malcom, no-brainer for me. £30 million, 22 years old, out of favour at Barcelona, wants to leave. And yeah, why not go for him? Go and sign him up. Get him straight in the team. It'd instantly make our forward line better because he can dribble past a man and cross a ball. And he can score goals. So why not go and get him? I think it'd be absolutely ridiculous not to get him. Good evening to Guna Eagle Eye. I'm not causing any trouble, man. I've had a really good weekend in the sunshine, and yeah, man, I'm chilling. It's all love, baby. It's all love. And if you're not subscribed to Guna Eagle Eye, click his icon, and you can just press on subscribe. It's free. So yeah, I'm not causing any trouble, man, and I'm just having a nice lifetime, man. Less than 2 weeks till I go on holiday. Do you think the media picks on Arsenal as how come only our transfer budget is ever leaked? That is a fantastic question, Darth Laxative. What a name. Yeah, it is. And if you read every single report as well, right? Every single report that comes out says Arsenal with their measly £45 million budget, Arsenal with their £40 million budget, stingy Arsenal with their 40 million, yeah, cash-strapped Arsenal, So I don't know. I don't know. Listen, we're the only club that get talked about in this light, and it's no coincidence that none of these journalists are Arsenal fans. They're all Liverpool, Tottenham, West Ham, Man United. They're all old school journalists that have been in and around journalism their whole lives for over 30, 40 years, some of them, just chopping and changing from one newspaper to another. And it's no coincidence they slag us off all the time. When you watch Sky Sports, you've got Jamie Redknapp sat on there chatting absolute bollocks. Well, of course he is. He's Tottenham. You've got other people. The only one who actually speaks sense, in my opinion, about Arsenal, that's not every time he speaks, but that is... his name's gone. Graham Souness. Graham Souness. I like listening to Graham Souness. The guy speaks sense. Let's read some of these out. Let's read some of these. We've moved from get the whole team out to let's hope we can sell 1 or 2 players, says Alexius. Mate, I'm realistic. We can't get rid of the whole team. Listen, that team that walked off of that pitch in Baku, every single one of them, apart from Petr Cech, who's leaving anyway and gone, so I don't really care about him, Alex Iwobi and Joe Willock, every single one of them other players is a fucking disgrace and should not wear that shirt again, based on that game alone. So if you add into the fact that they bottled 8 games in a row or 7, 6 games, whatever it was at the end of the season, again, disgrace. But I'm realistic. You can't just go, right, let's get rid of the whole team. Bye-bye. Gone. See you later. So yeah, as much as I'd love to get rid of the whole team and start again, rip it up and do it all over again, unfortunately, it ain't going to happen, mate. So yeah, let's hope we can get 2 of them out. And let's hope they're 2 of the biggest earners in Mkhitaryan and Mesut Ozil, or Granit Xhaka and Mesut Ozil. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Palace defender went for 50 million, which just shows, Nick, it just shows that if we can get Kieran Tierney for half of that, we've had a result, haven't we? Opinions on Ben Yedder, says Hassan. I've heard he's linked to Man United. I think that he's a pretty good player. I'm not sure whether he's physical enough to produce in the Premier League, but he certainly knows where the goal is. Good evening, Beastly Jabs. Already been through that on other streams, man, to be fair. How much from the Adidas deal will we get towards transfers, do you think, says Kelvin Crime? Well, firstly, this whole oh yeah, don't buy a shirt, it's not going to get spent. Well, the money's already in the bank account. Adidas have already transferred the money. That'll be going in at midnight tonight, because on the 1st of July, that's when the new Adidas deal starts. So I'd imagine that at midnight tonight or 2 o'clock in the morning, whenever transactions are done from bank account to bank account, Adidas will be going, send Arsenal £50 million or send Arsenal the whole 300 million, whatever it may be. I don't know. But, you know, anyone who's going to go and buy a shirt on Monday from the club shop, about 5% of the money you spend on that shirt actually goes to the club. The rest of it goes to Adidas. So, you know, it's all well and good not buying a shirt, and fair play to anyone who don't want to buy one. That's up to them. It's up to you what you spend your money on, isn't it, or not spend your money on. So, but yeah, Adidas will be transferring that money into a bank account at Arsenal between midnight and probably 8 a.m. So it's my birthday tomorrow. Please, Arsenal, announce something. Happy birthday for tomorrow, Majid Ahmed. I know you watch all my streams, so appreciate that, mate. Transfer budgets are made from the overall expenditure. Yeah, sorry, I didn't even answer the question, did I? Listen, it comes from everything. The Adidas deal's 50 million. The Emirates deals are all kicking in again. The Emirates Stadium naming rights and having it on the T-shirts and stuff like that as well. Add in the fact that we've probably got about another 30 sponsors, of which I don't even know all of them. I know we've got a watch sponsor, a phone sponsor, a car sponsor. So there's sponsorship deals coming in left, right and centre, and there's probably about 30 different companies that sponsor Arsenal. Visit Rwanda's another one. That's £10 million a year. So when you add it all up, our income's probably about 470 million a year income. Out of that, you've then got to pay all the staff. You've then got to keep the upkeep of the stadium. You've then got to make sure that you've got cash reserves in the bank. You've got to make sure you pay the stadium debt, which is annually, which works out about £20 million a year. That's on a mortgage until 2031. You've then, I think, you know, we've got enough cash reserves sat in the bank now that we could go, right, let's pay off the rest of the stadium. But the problem is, it'll probably save us about 5 million quid or 10 million quid or 15 million quid by doing it all in one hit, because the amount of fees. So what's the point? You might as well keep the money in the bank and pay it 20 million a year for the next fucking 12 years until the stadium's paid off. So yeah, you know, it all comes. It doesn't matter how much Adidas have given us. It could have been 5 million a year. You know, at the end of the day, yeah, 50 million helps, and it's obviously better than 5 million. But it doesn't have a massive say on how much money we spend. It's as a collective as the whole lot, and then what you're paying out. If you get paid in your job, say £2,000 a month, take-home pay, and that gets dropped into your bank account on the 1st of every month. Out of that, you go, right, I need to pay my mortgage or rent, food shopping, council tax, water rates, electric, gas. I need to put a bit away for a rainy day in case the boiler breaks. I need to put the phone bill, the internet, Sky Sports, BT Sports. So then once you get your £2,000 in and you've paid out your 1,500 out, you've got £500 for the month. So you're living within your means. So it's no different to a football club, really. You know, Arsenal will sit there and go, we've got X amount, we're paying out X amount, which leaves X amount. So it's exactly the same, mate. That's how business works. So Torreira should be on 100k a week, not Granit Xhaka, says Sergio. Thanks again for that, my friend. I agree. Listen, we gave a lot of these players contracts based on absolutely nothing. I'm not a mad money saver, believe it or not. It comes in one hand and it goes out the other. Luckily, my missus is good as gold with money, which is why I can save money. But yeah, basically, you know, I've lost my train of thought now. Fuck's sake. basically, the way the contracts have worked at Arsenal over the years is if you fail, you get a new deal. It's like, yeah, here you go. Here's a new deal, mate. Here you go, Mesut. Yeah, you did nothing for 2 seasons. Yeah, finished 5th and 6th. Decided to down tools, walk around the pitch, but we'll give you 210 grand a week pay rise. Granit Xhaka, oh well, don't worry that you're on 70 grand a week, Granit. That's all right, mate. I know you've helped us do fuck all in 3 years from being here, but here you go, bruv. There's 100 grand a week. Have a 30 grand pay rise. Yeah, and I know things move on. I know that obviously, players are in the last year or last 18 months of their contract. The club are panicking them. Well, that's down to, not strapping them up sooner. And if they were strapped up sooner, or you decided to sell them, you could sell them for a fee. I've just seen Adrian Rabiot landing in Turin on a private jet put on by Juve. They're tweeting it out. Yeah, why do you think he's gone there? They're paying him the most money. He could have gone to Man United. Why would he go there? Yeah, they might pay the money, but they're not in Champions League. So he's gone to Juventus because firstly Ronaldo's there, and that is a massive draw to anyone. The same as going to Barcelona and playing football with Messi every week. But they're in the Champions League, and they're going to pay him an absolute king's ransom because he's a free signing. So he's going to get a massive, massive signing on fee, probably around 10 million quid. But where does this leave Aaron Ramsey? Aaron Ramsey's gone there. Allegri's not there anymore. And he's seen all these midfielders coming in. They're going to go and get Ramsey, Rabiot and De Ligt for about £75 million. That is unbelievable business from them. Unbelievable business. They spent, 80 or 90 odd million pound on Ronaldo last year, and they followed it up again this season. Arsenal, if you add up the money that we've allowed players to walk out of this club that we could have got a fee for, it would have been about £210 million had Cazorla, Wilshere, Ramsey, Sanchez, all these other players that have left for nothing or next to nothing. Another one was Szczesny, £10 million. If we'd actually sold these players for proper money, which we should have done, then we'd be sitting here with a nice £250 million to spend, and we would have spent half of that last summer and the rest this summer, add into what we've got as a budget, and yeah, we'd have a whole new backline. We'd have a lovely midfield. We'd have a couple of supercharged winners, and we wouldn't have finished fifth. So yeah, I'm taking VP's place tonight for the Stellar Fund. Oh, bruv, seriously. Thank you very much, Sergio. I do appreciate it, mate. Thank you. I don't know what's going on with my lighting in here as well. 1 minute it seems like I'm sat in the dark, and the next minute, like, ping. So yeah, listen, Juve have done fantastic business. So good luck to them. They don't want to try and just win the league. They want to go all out for Champions League next season. And I think we're seeing that with some of the signings they made. A few years ago, they signed all them players on a free as well. I think Emre Can or Sami Khedira were free, or both of them. Who else was it? The right back they signed, I can't remember his name, they signed a right back on a freebie as well. And, they do love a free signing. So good luck to them. If they're going to pay them out the money, then that's why they're going there. And they can offer Champions League. They can guarantee him a title. So, yeah, man. Who do you want to be as our first signing, says J Telex 7. I want it to be a good one. I want it to be Tierney or someone like that, man. Tierney would be ideal because I think that would be massive for us. I think that would be a massive signing because defence is where we're shafted, and obviously he's a good defender, but he's also very good going forward. So yeah, I think that would be massive. It'll probably end up being Gabriel Martinelli. Nearly 600 people watching live. Please do slap a like on the video. It does help build the channel. It also shows that you like the content. So would you take John Stone, says Beastly Jabs? Not for the price they'd probably sell him for. So yeah, I would take him because I think he's a decent defender. I don't think he's a £50 million defender. No chance. Good evening, VP. I hope you're well, my friends. I have a feeling that Emery is a yes man. Why would you take the job knowing you have no money and always going to fail in a way? Think we need to go further back to actually go forward. Do you know what? I've said this a lot of times before over the last sort of 18 months to 2 years, right? soon as the previous manager went, I always said it was going to be a work in progress, and people are going to expect everything to just for the tap to turn off and everything to be rosy again. Weren't ever going to be like that. This club was in too much of a mess for that to happen. Adding to the fact that all the staff that are no longer here, not just playing staff or managerial staff in terms of playing staff, like the actual team itself, but hierarchy, higher up the ball and stuff like that. So we've changed a hell of a lot in the last sort of 18 months as a club, and I do think it's for the better, and I do think it will help us going forward. I also think that we're going to get rid of a few this summer, and I think the ones we bring in will help us get better again. But it's how much better we get compared to everybody else. And to be honest, I don't really give a toss about what Tottenham are doing, or Man United, or Chelsea. Well, Chelsea can't do anything. But I don't really care what they're doing. It's what we're doing, And I see a lot of people on social media, on Twitter and Insta and stuff. They get jealous when Tottenham are linked to Ndombele or Man United have signed Wan-Bissaka. Who cares? Who cares? It's about what we're doing. That's my attitude. Yeah, it's nice. Nice for Man United fans and it's nice for Tottenham fans, but ultimately it's about what we do. And if we don't do our jobs right, then we ain't got a chance. Do you think Mbappe will be sold this transfer window? Thanks for your donation as well, Rabba. I hope you're well, mate. I don't think he'll be sold this transfer window because I think Neymar could be. I think that Neymar could be going back to Spain. He could end up back at Barcelona. And if he does, wow. And it's going to cost a hell of a lot of money to get him back there, but that could be a possibility. I don't want Neymar back, says Kool-Aid Luke, the Barcelona fan. Do you know what? I don't rate him anywhere near as highly as some of these people rate Neymar, mate. I genuinely don't. No, not tonight, VP. Not tonight, mate. It's a school night. We need a Patrick Vieira type player in midfield and an Adams type in centre back, says Mohammed Amarul bin Abdul Malik. So yeah, mate, listen, thanks for your question. Thanks for your comments, mate. I actually agree with that. We need a big, physical, imposing specimen of a midfielder and defender. We need somebody that's just going to go straight through people. And take no prisoners. Decore could be that man. He's got the physique of a Patrick Vieira. Has he got the technical ability? I'm not so sure. But he is a very, very good footballer. And he'd walk straight in our team. Drop Xhaka, put him next to Torreira. So yeah, man, I'd take him in a heartbeat. As for centre-back, I think Izzo is about to sign a new contract with Torino. So that was great work from his agent, wasn't it? Putting the story out, link him to Arsenal. Oh, here we go. We'll give you a new contract. So yeah, he would have been the ideal partner to go next to Socrates or Holding, because he is that physical guy. He don't muck about. He gets stuck straight in. Why not loan Eric? Why not Leon Bailey? Sorry, I've nearly read that wrong. I said loan Bailey. Leon Bailey. I think it's too soon for him, Ahmed. I think another season in Germany, and now I think he could be ready. But I think it's a little bit too soon. It's a little bit like the Malcom deal to Barcelona. I think that it's nice when they get linked, and you're not going to turn Barcelona down. I don't care what player you are. If you're linked to Barcelona, unless you're at Madrid, or potentially Juventus, but Bayern Munich maybe. Even if you're at Man United and Madrid come in, you're going. Maybe Juventus you won't, maybe Bayern Munich you won't, maybe Real Madrid you won't. I think they're the only clubs you probably wouldn't. But if Barcelona come calling, it is very hard to say no to that. It's probably a once in a lifetime it'll ever happen. So unless you're really, really special, yeah, and you keep producing your special moments every season. We've seen with Coutinho, he's gone there and absolutely flopped. So, some of these players, it's too soon for him, and Leon Bailey is one of them, I think. A lot of our fans underrated Per Mertesacker, the only lump and could read the game, carried Koscielny for years. That is a great comment, Beastly Jabs. I said something similar yesterday, actually, about he was the only centre back we've got that could actually defend. All the rest of them want to do all this tippy-tappy, poncing around on the ball, playing out from the back and taking risks and trying to kick it over their heads and stuff like that. He never used to really be out of position. I know he got spun a couple of times by Diego Costa. Yeah, and there's been other times where he has looked a liability. But if you actually look at Mertesacker's Arsenal career, weren't too bad. And he read the game so well that he didn't have to be constantly trying to run back after people because he was always in the right position. And he saved Koscielny's backside a number of times. So, yeah, you're spot on, mate. Barcelona are easily beat. Do you know what? Barcelona must be worried, Rabba. And thanks again for your donation, mate. They must be worried looking over at Real Madrid, yeah, and seeing Real Madrid that are signing all of these players. And, you know, they must be sitting there thinking, damn, we've got to do some work soon because, you know, they're going to get left behind otherwise. You know, it's all well and good having probably the best player in the world ever in your team, but he can't do it all on his own. You've got to put players around him, you know. So, you know, Barcelona need to go out there and go and sign another 3 or 4 players. Ayush Kumar, don't worry, mate, and thanks for your kind words. It's nice to hear. Thanks, mate. Why can't we play a 4-3-3? It's the best formation in Europe, says Ilyas Osman. I agree. Totally agree with that. We should play 4-3-3. I don't think we should do it every game. I think some games it don't warrant that. Tougher games maybe go 4-2-3-1. So yeah, I don't know, man. It depends what team you play, but ultimately I think the majority of games 4-3-3 is the way forward. I think that's the way it should be done. Play with quick wingers like City and Liverpool, and then play with a banger up front. 2 proper solid midfielders, or 3 solid midfielders, should I say, that can get around the pitch but are good on the ball, but know how to defend and know how to track runners and know how to tackle. And then you play with some good left back and right backs. Liverpool play a 4-3-3 every game. You're right, Marble Halls. Good evening as well, mate. I think the thing with Liverpool is their front 3 is so good that it don't matter who they play against. You know, because everyone's going to be shitting their pants over that front 3 because they're so quick and so technically gifted that when Liverpool line up, it doesn't matter how bad or good their midfield is. Everybody's worried about their left back and right back bombing forward, and then they're worried about the 3 up front. They don't really pay much attention to that midfield because they're shitting themselves about what's coming back the other way. So yeah, we ain't really got that because we ain't got any wingers, mate. But Madrid had 1 bad season and look who they've bought and how much they're spending. We've had 12 bad years and we have a limited budget. Disgraceful. Thanks again, Sergio. Listen, they're backed by the King of Spain, mate. They just write debt off left, right and centre. Very, very dodgy shenanigans going on at that football club at times, mate. You know, the King is just going, yeah, cool, we'll fund that, we'll fund that, we'll fund that. But I'll be honest with you, if you actually look at how much Real Madrid has spent in the 3 years previous to that, to this summer, it's next to nothing. Literally next to nothing. So maybe they've been saving for this time. Maybe they knew they had a good core like the Modric, the Cruz, Ronaldo, Bale. You know, that was big money that they spent 5 years ago. Do you know what I mean? So they didn't really need to keep going out and ploughing in another 200 million. And if you go and have a look at the money they've spent 3 years prior to this summer, it's not a great deal of money, to be fair. So, you know, maybe it is within the boundaries and the parameters of financial fair play. But if it ain't, then it's down to the King of Spain. Peter Crouch is going for free. Peter Crouch. Bamiyang left wing drifting central. I think he's kind of wasted on the left wing, man. I think he's wasted out there. Arsenal is shopping in Lidl again, and that's why we moved to the Emirates. To be fair, we moved to be self-sufficient, and we are. So I suppose Lidl is where we're shopping because we've mismanaged the money. But hopefully we can rectify that ASAP. Is Zaha happening or not, says King Slayer. Not for that price, it ain't, mate, that's for sure. Right, let's do another minute or so of these, and then I'm going to get myself out of here and enjoy the rest of my evening. Nearly 650 people watching live. Not even 150 likes. Come on, people. Gareth Bale on loan, says Mohammed. I think there's some sort of clause in that contract that says he probably can't go to to Arsenal while I just die. Jesus Christ. So yeah, there's probably a clause in the contract when Tottenham sold him to say that he probably can't go to Arsenal, mate. If we sold Aubameyang, we should get a Cardi. He's a good player. He's a very good player, mate. Yes, I would take him. I would. I think he's a fantastic player. Tierney, any news? The only news I've seen, mate, is what I put out on the previous stream at 5 o'clock, that apparently we've agreed a deal with them, 20 million plus 5 million add-ons. I see some journalist who's lost his blue tick because he's changed his Twitter handle, putting out the biggest amount of crap I've ever heard in my life about Tierney went to Austria to do some rehab for his injury, doing some bike riding and all that. But then the club realised that that wasn't going to be enough rehab for him, so flew him back home to put him in a gym that he uses over in Glasgow. What, have they not got gyms in Austria then? Like, what a load of crap. Yeah, biggest load of rubbish I've ever seen. So yeah, right, let's do 2 more of these, and then I'm going to get myself off for the evening. I will be back tomorrow morning with daily transfer update. Stories TV, since Alexis and Cazorla left, Ozil is not the same anymore. What do you think of that? I think he's fell out of love with football, if I'm being completely honest, mate. And Alexis Sanchez, I know this is going to sound and piss off a lot of people, but Alexis Sanchez basically carried him, mate, for a few years. If you look at Alexis Sanchez's assist stats, they weren't far behind Mesut Ozil, and I mean not far behind Mesut Ozil. And he was here for a year less. But obviously Sanchez was just ridiculous scoring goals, because Cazorla was the best midfielder we had at the time in terms of technical ability. So I think that now he's had to step up and try and be the main man, and that ain't what he does, you know. He's always the guy behind the main man. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Why is there so many spammers? It's the same on everyone's streams recently, mate. I was watching a stream the other day as well, and it was just constant. So I don't know why that is. Lee, you are a boss, and keep up the great content, man. Thanks, Denzel. Appreciate that, my friend. Always nice to hear good comments. So thanks for that, mate. Spurs 13 is spam. Yes, he is. Every night he's in the chat chatting absolute bollocks. Maybe you should go and watch some Tottenham channels. "2010 Ozil was mad." Yeah, mate, that was 9 years ago. I had a better hairline back then, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Now look at it, it's like Mane's. I'm going to get myself out of here on that note. Please leave a like on the video. Go and check the stream out from earlier at 5 o'clock if you haven't already. And don't forget the daily transfer update back tomorrow. Less than 900 subscribers away from 20,000. So big up every single one of you. Thanks to over 650 that watch live. It's still at 575 right now. Thanks to everyone who donated. Appreciate that. So thank you very much for that. And thank you to everyone in the chat. I will be back tomorrow morning and then twice in the evening with 2 streams again. So plenty of content coming. If we do happen to sign a player, then I'll be back with that as well. So yeah, laters, peeps.